Hello everyone, welcome. Today I want to briefly introduce to you China's educational system. It's a huge topic, so today I just want to talk about the different levels of schooling, how many years you need to spend in each stage if you have to take a test to move on to the next stage. Let's begin with kindergarten. Chinese kids can start kindergarten as young as 3 years old. In Chinese, kindergarten is usually divided into 3 years. They call it 大中小班, which is a big class, middle class, and small class, but of course they're referring to the different age levels. And Chinese parents have the option of sending their kids to a public kindergarten or a private kindergarten. Public kindergarten are usually few in number. They are cheaper, but it's very hard to get in due to the limited supply. So a lot of the parents, they have no choice but sending their kids to a private kindergarten, which is more expensive, but you do have more choices. And for private kindergarten, usually they would ask you to take an admission test. Whereas if you admit your child to a public kindergarten, you usually don't have to. So after 3 years of kindergarten, your kid, a Chinese kid, would move on to 小学, which is elementary school, at the age of 6. Similar to kindergarten, you can send your kid to a private elementary school or a public elementary school. The public elementary school at this stage is pretty much available to everyone as long as you live in a school district. But of course, if you want to send your kid to a private elementary school, you can also do that. Probably more expensive. Chinese kids generally spend about 6 years in the elementary school or primary school. After 6 years of elementary school or primary school, Chinese kids would then move on to middle school, 初中. Unless you want to send your kid to a private middle school, you don't really have to take a examination to get in. You just go based on where you live, right? So this is pretty chill up to now, but in middle school, things start to heat up a little bit because from 初中 middle school to high school, you do have to take a huge examination, probably the first one of the life of a Chinese kid. The exam Chinese kids have to take to get into high school is called 中考, literally middle school examination, but it's actually the high school entrance examination. It is very important to score high on the 中考 so that you can get into a good high school or get into a high school at all, because if you look at the statistics, less than half of the middle school graduates in Shanghai cannot go to high school because they failed the 中考. And getting into an academic high school is a prerequisite for you to get into college. 初中 or middle school in China is 3 years, but you will see students start to prepare for the 中考 way ahead. So if you successfully pass the 中考, you will then enter into high school, which in China is 3 years. So 高一, 高二, and 高三 for 3 years. After those 3 years, you will then take Gaokao, which is high school examination, but it's basically like the SAT or ACT. It's the college entrance examination. And Gaokao is usually considered to be the most important exam of a Chinese person's life. Because if you do well on the Gaokao, you will then be accepted into a good university, which will lead to good jobs, good careers, and eventually a good life. So as you can imagine, it's a big deal. Maybe we can talk about that later in a different episode. Alright, that's a wrap for today's episode on China's educational system. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.